Thank you for joining us for Lakefront News. I'm William Hall. We begin this newscast with an update on the fatal plane crash the U.S. has not seen in over 2 decades. Officials are saying that there are no survivors after an American Airlines jet collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter in Washington, D.C. Wednesday night. 67 people were killed. 60 passengers and 4 crew members were on the American Airlines flight from Wichita, Kansas, bound for Reagan International Airport in Washington. Just before 9 p.m. Wednesday, the flight was struck by the Black Hawk helicopter, sending both aircraft into the Potomac River. 3 soldiers were on board the helicopter. The crash triggering a massive search operation and raising serious questions about what could have gone so wrong. The National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation, and crews are still searching for the victims. President Trump signed an executive order titled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs and Preferencing. He then directed that all federal DEI staff be placed on paid leave and eventually laid off. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs, can take many forms, but they generally describe efforts to increase access to and remove barriers from things like higher education and jobs for those from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds, races, and genders. Some companies have already begun to move away from DEI hiring, while others have shown their support and continued use of DEI hirings. Universities around the country are currently caught in the middle of Trump's DEI removal. President Donald Trump announced that he is withdrawing the U.S. from the World Health Organization. In his executive order, he cites the organization's mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic and other global crises. It takes a year to fully withdraw from the body, and the U.S. is obligated to continue funding for the year. With this action in progress, many health officials are concerned with the future of the United States with the rapid growth of bird flu. The U.S. is one of
I think Trump pulling out of the World Health Organization is not a good idea, especially with the bird flu becoming more prominent in the United States. I think now more than ever we do need the backing of science and the vaccine.
The U.S. is one of the biggest donors for WHO, and a withdrawal from the organization can prevent numerous global health initiatives and have the CDC to stop working with them as well. President Donald Trump has put the return to office debate front and center. The recent signing of an executive order that calls on the heads of federal departments and agencies to bring their workers back to office full time. When it comes to facing return to office mandates, federal employees aren't alone in 2025. The Pew Research Center recently found the number of employees expected in person at the office, a certain number of days per week or month, have grown since early 2023, while a majority of workers surveyed still prefer a hybrid arrangement. Kim Parker, director of Pew's Social Trends Research, says women especially cite potential challenges of returning to the office full-time. On Tuesday, January 8th, President Donald Trump planned to freeze federal aid and money minutes before it was supposed to take effect. With the purpose to relocate and redistribute funds, upon facing backlash, the White House Budget Office released a more thorough clarification to which programs would be affected. Social Security and Medicare are supposed to be exempt. Also said to not be affected are Pell Grants, Head Start funds for small businesses, farmers, rentals assistance, as well as student federal financial aid. However, nonprofit programs such as school meal programs, programs to combat domestic violence, and suicide prevention hotlines will be affected. We asked a OLU student what she thought on the matter.
From my point of view, I see it as very beneficial because it allows Trump and his cabinet, anybody involved, to really reevaluate where the taxpayers' money goes towards, whether that be like financial aid or providing for our citizens here in the U.S. And I mean, I feel like a lot of our money is going elsewhere and we don't even know it. So it's definitely good for us.
With the policies starting on February 3rd, we here at Lakefront will keep you updated with the latest. Many students can eat anything they want without worrying what they are eating. Some students may not be too lucky due to different food allergens. Gluten-free allergens, celiac disease, vegan and vegetarians, lactose intolerance are just some examples of what students have. As well as for Chartwell's, the school's cafeteria, have some options for students with these preferences. However, as for students who are lactose intolerant, there isn't many non-dairy menu items, but it's encouraged to talk to the chef to see what is available. You can find some vegan options on the menu. As for gluten-free, you have to ask. Unfortunately, they can't 100% guarantee that the food will not be cross-contaminated, which could be extremely dangerous for severe allergies. And students with severe gluten-free allergies or celiac disease should be advised before eating the Chartwell's food. Earlier last week, the White House confirmed the government has begun deporting migrants using military aircraft. On Thursday evening, the first flight left Briggs Army Field for Guatemala, carrying about 75 to 80 migrants. The migrants have recently crossed the border and were in Border Patrol custody. 4 military planes were sent to support deportation efforts in San Diego and El Paso. This marks a new development in the government's immigration enforcement strategies. This is what Sheriff Javier Salazar of Bexar County, Texas, had to say when he was asked about the ICE raids.
We have not been asked to participate in any raids back home. I can tell you my folks are just going on about our regular everyday business. With that being said, you know, I'm certainly not pretending to speak for the White House or the Trump administration. I'm not here to pass a
In Oklahoma, parents may soon be required to show proof of citizen status when they enroll their children in school. The State Board of Education approved a new rule on Tuesday. Oklahoma School Superintendent Ryan Walter says that the new administrative rule is to gather data and students will not be turned away from being educated in Oklahoma's public schools if they are not a legal citizen. Walter says that the information will be provided to law enforcement and the Trump administration as needed. The rule still needs passage by the state legislature and governor's approval before it takes effect. OLU President Abel Antonio Chavez has begun a podcast called Chala con Chavez. In each episode, students from OLU get to have a chala with the president, where they talk about their personal growths, balancing life, and hardships they've encountered. The purpose of this podcast is to unite the OLU community and for students to feel empowered and pursue leadership. Be sure to be on the lookout for every episode each Friday. You can find Chala con Chavez on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music and Audible iHeartRadio. It's the first legislation Congress took up this session. On January 29th, it is likely to become that the first President Donald Trump signs into law this term. The Lincoln-Riley Act requires the Department of Homeland Security to detain undocumented migrants for certain crimes. They include offenses like theft and burglary, or those resulting in death or serious injury. Most lawmakers who voted for this measure are Republicans, but dozens are Democrats. The legislation is named after a 22-year-old Georgia student who was killed last year. An undocumented migrant from Venezuela is serving a life sentence for her murder. Experts say that there is no connection between immigration and crime. The bill signing comes as ICE reports thousands of arrests this week. A major legal battle is unfolding over birthright citizenship, with a recent court ruling blocking former President Donald Trump to end it. Here's what you need to know. Birthright citizenship is under debate as a judge blocked former President Donald Trump's order to end it. Currently, being born on U.S. soil automatically grants citizenship. The order challenges the 14th Amendment, which has guaranteed this right for over a century. This legal fight could become the first big Supreme Court battle of Trump's second term. Stay with us, Saints. Our Teresa King has your Saints sports news after the break.
Welcome back, Saints. Here's an update on your latest sports news. I'm Teresa King. The Olu women's golf team is swinging into their new season. The Saints will be playing in Vegas February 24th and the 25th. Good luck and safe travels to our Saints as they compete in their preseason tournament. The Olu baseball team will be having a busy schedule this upcoming season. The Saints will be playing on February 7th at 2 p.m. and at 4 p.m. and Friday, February 8th at noon and at 2. They will be going against the Indiana South Bend and will be playing at the Missions Baseball Academy here in San Antonio. Be sure to go out and support our Saints by wearing your Saints gear and cheering them into victory. Let's show what it means to be a community that supports one another. The Super Bowl is now set. The Kansas City Chiefs face off against the Philadelphia Eagles on the Super Bowl 59. This will be a rematch from 2 years ago. Kansas City beat Philly 28-25 in the Super Bowl 57. And this time the Chiefs will try to make history in the Super Bowl to become the first NFL team to ever win 3 championships in a row.
We get right back to work. Like I said, we got bigger goals, and we know they're going to have a sour taste in their mouth from the last time we played them in the Super Bowl. And you know, that being said, man, we got to go to work. We got to go to work and make sure we're ready to handle them.
The Chiefs advanced to the big game by beating the Buffalo Bills at home 32-29, while the Eagles beat the Washington Commanders 55-23. The Super Bowl will take place February 9th in New Orleans. Olu students are placing bets and getting ready to watch the Super Bowl. Out of 25 students, 15 are for the Eagles and 10 are for the Chiefs. Good luck to both teams competing and staying on the lookout for the potential Super Bowl parties. Continuing with the Super Bowl, the Empire State Building shined brightly to honor the NFL's champions. The Empire State Building paid homage on Sunday to the National Football League Conference winners. It lit up green and white in honor of the Philadelphia Eagles' wins over the Washington Commanders in the NFC Championship game, and later the landmark lit up red to honor the Kansas City Chiefs' victory over the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game. For the United States Department of Agriculture has tips to keep your Super Bowl food safe. The Food Safety and Inspection Food Services says cooked snacks can't be at room temperature for more than 2 hours. They need to be under 40 degrees or over 140 degrees to prevent foodborne illnesses. The service recommends using insulated containers to pick out takeout. It suggests bringing out the food in stages rather than letting them out for the whole game. The service also suggests using a food thermometer and washing your hands regularly. If you need any help, remember this rhyme: hot stays hot and cold stay cold. When in doubt, throw it out. Giddy up with your cowboy gear because another San Antonio rodeo season is here. From February 6th through February 23rd, enjoy various events from a carnival to concerts, food, livestock, and competitive events. Not sure where to buy tickets? No problem. Here's a quick breakdown on the most popular purchase tickets. Fairground admission gets you entry into the rodeo in San Antonio grounds. Carnival wristbands gives it entry to the fairgrounds and unlimited access to all carnival rides. You can purchase your tickets online at Ticketmaster.com. Come out and make memories with your friends and family. Experience San Antonio in full effect. You won't want to miss it. There's a big change coming to the NCAA sports in this coming year, a change in years, athletes are eligible to play. This comes from the successful court case from the Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pava against the NCAA, arguing that his junior year should not count since he comes from a junior college. The NCAA has decided to grant junior college athletes another year of eligibility for the 2025-2026 season. Emerson Weiler has played at the Arleta Lake soccer team for more than 3 years and believes that there is a disadvantage for athletes to go straight to the fourth-year program.
It's a disadvantage and it's not fair. People play sports in college one time and not everybody's going pro, so this is like their one time to play.
This could lead major changes in the future with eligibility years for JUCO and NCAA athletes and the national intent deals. This is something junior college athletes will definitely want to keep up with. Dallas Cowboys have named Brian Schottenheimer as their new head coach. The former offensive coordinator is ready to take the lead in their upcoming season. Brian Schottenheimer has spent over 25 years as an NFL assistant coach and has promoted to head coach in the Dallas Cowboys on January 24, 2025. This move comes after the departure of former coach Mike McCarthy. Owner Jerry Jones expressed confidence in Schottenheimer's ability to lead the team to success. Schottenheimer, a member of the well-known Schottenheimer's family football, is committed to hard work and team spirit.
Legendary coach, a great man, but he's an incredible father, and he's impacted me more than anyone in this profession. I know he's looking down on me, I know he's proud, and I miss him very much. But I know what he'd say to me. He'd say, Brian, the easy part is over. It's time to get to work.
He expressed gratitude towards his late father, a legendary coach, and is determined to embody his father's legacy in his new role. Young readers are getting help from WNBA player Caitlin Clark. Scholastic donated 22,000 new books for her charity. The books will be distributed to elementary and middle schools as well as children's hospitals. Caitlin Clark's organization is a special focus on her home state of Iowa. According to Scholastic, the number of kids who read 5 to 7 days in a week has a decline. This attributes to more time spending on devices. Scholastic hopes that the new and popular books that was donated will entice more children to read. Well, that's all for today. Stay tuned to next week for Lakefront News. Again, I'm Teresa Keene.